So the ship we're looking at here, this is the Zeus CL, which is the cargo variant of the three. The other two being the ES, which is exploration, and the other one MR, which is more of an interdiction style ship with an EMP and a quantum dampener. The only two that are currently flyable right now are the ES and the CL. Um, with the CL, I just want to kind of run through. I've been wanting to make this video for a little while, and with some recent changes of other ships like the Raft, I thought maybe this is a good time to start looking into this. Now, you gotta please forgive me a little bit here. Getting over being sick, so my voice is a little off and probably doesn't sound completely right. But yeah, let's get into it. Starting off, looking at the ship, there are two entrances. You have the ramp, which there is a button at the rear, and that'll open up. The second entrance is up here on the front to the left, which is a ladder that'll drop down. And when you drop it down, it'll automatically take you up, or you can choose just to open it. That'll take you right up into the center of the ship. But to get started, I'm going to go ahead and start walking up through the back and start kind of showing the ship and what to expect from it. So as we get up here, you see kind of where the cargo grid is. It's all within these blue areas. It's 128 SCU. It stacks up. It stacks a little differently. To start, these two side areas, these will each be 2 wide by 2 high. And then the main section here is going to be 5 wide, 3 high, and 8 deep. I'll put up a little image here on the screen. It's a neat little cargo grid that's actually created by a community member. It goes by Eric, and he posts it on Spectrum and on the community pages. But it's a great tool to use, and it kind of gives you a visual idea of how this grid works. Now, the grid, it does stop in these areas here, which is good because it does still allow access to these component areas. So even if you're full of cargo, you can still access your components. Although the cargo will block off the exit to the ramp. One cool little detail with this ramp here is when it closes, you can actually see the mechanism through the glass. Just kind of a clean little detail that they added in. But when we're here in the back, you get your fire extinguisher, you get your component bays here, and this one here. It's going to contain a power plant, battery, radar, a relay, which will be useful with fuses, a cooler, and then across the way, and here we get a power plant, a cooler, and a jump drive. I'll put up a thing on the screen here in a little bit that'll kind of show a breakdown of all the different components and sizes. It's not something that's really worth spending a whole lot of time talking about when you can just see it in a document form. And then here we're going to have gun racks. You got your smaller guns, larger guns. Placement there fits quite a bit. Fire extinguisher, we were talked about that. And then here, when you walk in from the cargo bay up to the next section, you've got a door on the left and on the right. Off to the right is the kitchen, and off to the left is your habitation. So let's go ahead and take a look at the kitchen. Small little area, a little seating spot with a window. Windows are always nice. Kind of a typical kitchen setup here. This, I'm not sure if it's supposed to just be storage or if it's meant to be like a refrigerator, but you do have 2 of these. So a place you can put snacks, drinks, kind of something similar to what you see on the C8R, which comes pre-stocked. The Zeus does not come pre-stocked, just to clarify. Across the way, we're going to have our 3 bunks. And then right here, you've got your lockers, each of them with 127,000 SCU or micro SCU. I can't remember what they call it. But so you've got 3 of those, and then each of these. And interesting thing about the beds, you have control of your lighting. So you can turn your lighting off, or you can set it for an emergency, and it'll make your bunk blink red. Not sure of any future use of that, but just kind of an interesting detail that they've included. And then, of course, right next to where everybody is sleeping, the toilet. Kind of a... I mean, it works, just a strange location, I think, right next to the beds. But we do have the toilet shower combo. And this one, the mirror currently does not work like some of the other newer ships, but I'm sure that'll be changed soon in another patch. As far as habitation goes, that's it. It's pretty simple. After that, we come up to the next section, and right here you'll see where the ladder comes in. And I'm also I'll include in the video here just like a little thing showing the difference in entry times. Because I know when the MSR came out, that was a big topic of discussion: is how long does it take to get in the ship, into the pilot seat? So I kind of like to compare those. And then here we're gonna have your engineering terminal, another relay spot with fuses, and then of course more components. So we already saw one of the shield generators. This ship does have 3. So there's the second one there. There's a spot for a battery that's currently empty. And then our other shield generator, and then an empty gravity generator. I'm sure those will be coming at some point. And then you go up a little further, you've got your 3 suit storage lockers. And right behind is the airlock. Which this is kind of a cool airlock because a part of the ship opens up here and creates kind of a little balcony or a spot to step out on. And so you can even use that and get up on top of your ship if you wanted to. Coming back in, going up to the next section. Now we're in the cockpit. Up here we've got 3 seats. One is kind of the gunner co-pilot seat. Center is the main pilot, and off to the right is another co-pilot seat, which also controls the tractor beam of the ship. Interesting thing with the Zeus CL, and it may be similar with other Zeuses or the other one that's currently flyable, I'm not sure, but this one, you can pilot the ship from any of the seats. So that can be useful. So here we've got another fire extinguisher, which is good to have one in the cockpit, and we have more components. Shield generator, life support, avionics, and then it's always good to have more gun storage up by the pilot seat. And you have room for a very, very big gun. So if you have a few things you're wanting to carry with you, this is just awesome. Now up here, like I said, you've got your guns, tractor beam, and then just the main pilot seat. Now I'm going to kind of show a quick comparison of cargo loading and unloading, and you can kind of watch that real quick and kind of gather your thoughts on it. So as you can see with the CL, loading is about 9 minutes for about 60 crates. Unloading a little bit faster just because you're not having to stack carefully. One ship I do like to compare it with, at least from what I've been seeing recently when I play, is the Mercury Star Runner. Now, the Mercury Star Runner is in a different price class, being at 260 instead of the 175, but it is a ship that is still fast. Holds plenty of cargo at 114 instead of the 128 of the Zeus. But another big difference is the MSR can utilize the Atlas. Now, tractor beams on ships may change one day, but as of right now, this is just showing the speed difference between the Zeus CL with its built-in tractor beam or the MSR using the Atlas. This here is all the stats of the ship. This is on Urkel.games. Big key takeaways here are these are all size 2 components. It has the tractor beam, it's got two size 4 pilot controlled guns, and then you have the dual size 3 guns for the remote turret. Now, the ship does have 66.5 hydrogen capacity as far as SCUs. For quantum fuel, that's sitting at about 1.8 SCUs. It's not a ton, but if you're running cargo with this ship, more than likely you're going to be refueling as you're going, so it's not really a big concern. The DPS is a bit low, but it's not a fighter. It's just meant to try and fend off attackers and get away as fast as it can. As far as the missiles, there are the two size 4 missile racks. Each of those racks contain 4 size 2 Dominator 2 missiles. Missile payload comes out to a little over 19,000 DPS. The stock shield generators, this one has 3, and there's a difference here between the CL and the ES. The ES has a 4th shield generator. So overall, my thoughts on this ship is at $175, I don't know that I necessarily think it's completely worth it. But if you CCU chain it and use some war bonds in there and you can get the price down, you can get it down to like 135 or so. I think at that point, I think this is a good ship. It has plenty of cargo. It's quick, in and out is fast. You can do a lot with it. It's a great daily driver style ship. Now, if you're going pure cargo and you just want to do the best you can, best bang for your buck, the upcoming raft changes, making the raft go to 192 SCU, that'll be the way to go. But you will be in a slower ship, and it's not going to be able to do as much since it is dedicated cargo. This is more of a multi-purpose cargo-capable ship. The grid at times on this ship can be a little frustrating, and the bay is not big enough to be able to hold any sort of Ursa or similar sized land vehicle. It can fit cyclones and rocks and things like that, though. Now, if you're looking at this ship and you're thinking it's nice, but I would like a little bit more, your next consideration would actually be the RSI Constellation Taurus. With that ship, you get extra cargo, you can load a rover, it has 4 size 5 weapons, it has a tractor beam. It's a very capable ship, and it's $20 more. So that would be your next consideration moving up. For me, as of right now, I own this ship, and it's fun enough to where I don't plan on melting it, and I can definitely recommend it. Now, with all of that being said, this is my first video of this kind, really kind of looking at a Star Citizen ship. I feel like maybe I was all over the place, and I'm kind of struggling with my voice a little bit, but if you have any suggestions or things you would like to see, things that I missed, please be sure to put them down in the comments and let me know. I do want to start trying to do these more, practice a little bit and see if I can get better at this kind of stuff. Any input's appreciated. If you have negative feedback, positive feedback, I'll take all of it. So I really appreciate it. And then just a couple other quick notes. I do also stream on Twitch once in a while, at least when I find time between, wife and kids and house chores and all this fun stuff. So feel free to check me out on there on Twitch. The name is Ratjack Official. And one more point is I have a website up that has links to my Discord, my Twitch, my YouTube channel, as well as plenty of Star Citizen tools that are helpful. I have medical and salvage guides, cargo grids from Eric I host on my site. You can use a player lookup tool to enter someone's name and get the information pulled from the RSI site. As well as a page that shows all the other tools for Star Citizen that are really useful. And then the last thing here is I have a Discord fleet bot that I've created, and I'm still working on a big update I'm trying to finish up. But that allows you and your org and your Discord to maintain a fleet within your Discord, and it'll actually create JSON files and everything that can go directly into the fleet imaging services. So feel free to check it out, and if you have any input on that, reach out and let me know as well. I appreciate all input. But that is it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.